Perfect. So now I think so you have missed your few classes. In the last few classes for economics, we had already started with methods of national income. We have seen three different methods. That was value added method, how to calculate national income. Then first was value added method. Then there was income method, and then there was expenditure method. So we have already solved the few numerals. We have seen the theoretical part. As I have said that with practicals, theoretical part is also very important because theory is going to help you all to solve the practical question. There are many terms, many terminologies, many keywords which are going to help you while solving the numerical questions. So with theory, I have also taken few numerical questions, few sums. So in the today's class, my main motive was to make you all solve more numerical questions, but I don't know, there are many people who are absent today. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly revise the formulas for all the three methods and see if you are able to solve the questions or not. And if not, then you can let me know. I'll help you or I'll show you how to solve it. Okay? Sure. So we'll start with our first method. Yes, Gokul. Today it's just you who have come. Others, I don't know, are they late or are they joining or not joining? But it's only you. So that is why I don't know how much you know because you have skipped your classes, whether you have gone through the recordings or not. So how much you're going to get it, let's see. I'll just do the revision of all the formulas, all the methods, the formulas, and then I'll give you a few questions, see if you are able to solve those questions or not. Note down the formulas. Formulas will help you to solve the questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo. First method under national income was value added method, and the aggregate of value added method is GVA at MP. The other aggregate or the alternative aggregate for value added method is GDP at MP. So you can call it as GVMP, you can also call it as GDPMP. The formula for this is value output minus intermediate consumption. Value of output minus intermediate consumption. Now, if directly everything is given to you in the question, then you can just put the values and find out GDPMP or GVMP. But what if value of output is directly not given to you in the question? Then in that case, how are you going to find out value of output or value output? So in that case, the formula to find out value output is sales plus change in stock. Okay, so if value output is not given to us directly in the question, then how we are going to find it? Sales plus change in stock. Now what if sales is not given to you in the question? So how to find out the value of sales if sales is not given to us? So if sales is not given to us, the formula is quantity into price. And what if CIS is not given to you? CIS is nothing but change in stock. So what is the formula for change in stock? Closing stock minus opening stock. Okay, okay. Till here everything is clear. Next, while calculating national income using value added method, you are going to include all the sectors. All the sectors means what? You are going to include primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. You are going to include the values of all the sectors, primary, secondary and tertiary. And this will together give you the value of GVMP or GDP. So this is the formula which is very important in order to solve the question. when it comes to value added method. So in the question, when you will get the questions in your examination, there are possibilities that at times they will directly mention that you have to solve the question by find out the national income by using value added method. But at times there is possibility that they will not directly tell you that you have to find it out by a value added method. You have to identify the components, like what are the components of value added method. So value of output, intermediate consumption, sales, change in stock, quantity, price, closing stock, opening stock, all are these the components of value added method. So while you see the question, you will understand, you can determine that these are the components of value added method. So I have to find out the national income by using value added method. One more thing, intermediate consumption means what? Purchases. Purchases made by firms in order to produce more goods and services. Those are called as intermediate consumption. So at times they directly give you intermediate consumption, or at times they will give you domestic purchases. So in this domestic purchases, you have to add inputs. You will get intermediate consumption. Same way for sales. They might give you domestic sales. So in this domestic sales, you have to add exports. This will give you the value of sales. Fine. So if domestic purchases is given to you in the question, you have to find out whether imports are given or not. If imports are given, you have to add it. It will give you the value of intermediate consumption. Same way, if directly sales is given to you in the question, then well and good. But if it is not given to you directly in the question, if they are giving you domestic sales, then in that case, you have to add exports to it, and then you will get the value of sales. So these are the few important formulas which are required for solving national income sums in value added method. So if you want, I can wait for 2 minutes. You can just note down the formulas and then I'll move towards the next method. Done. So we'll move towards our next method. Next method which we saw was income method. Okay, the next method was income method. So first of all, what is the aggregate of income method? NDP at FC. This is the aggregate of income method. With the name itself, you should understand that under this method, we are going to sum up the income of entire country. And when we say income method, we are going to include only factor income. We are not going to include transfer incomes. Transfer incomes are nothing but the unilateral incomes, or you can say one-sided income. For example, gift. If say suppose India gives 20 rupees to USA. Of course, we are going to do the conversion and all, but it is just an example. If India is giving 20 rupees to USA as a gift, then in return, USA is not going to give anything because that 20 rupees were the gift given by India. It was not they are not doing any kind of transactions, right? So India will be not getting any goods and services in return by giving 20 rupees to USA. So these kind of transactions where there is no return of goods and services but only the money is going away is called as transfer income. So when we calculate national income using income method, we are not going to involve transfer incomes, we are just going to involve factor incomes. Factor incomes like rent, wages, interest, profit, so on. Okay. So the formula is COE. COE stands for compensation of employees plus rent plus royalty plus interest plus profit and plus mixed income. This is the formula to find out national income under income method. Now, COE, that is compensation of employees, has again three subparts. Okay. Compensation of employees has again three parts, that is wages and salaries in cash plus wages and salaries in kind plus social security scheme. Now, when we talk about rent, royalty, interest, we are going to include both actual value as well as imputed value. Huh.
What is the third one? Wages in cash, wages and salary kind, and
Wages and salaries and compensation of employees means when we give something in return, when employer gives something in return to employee. Because and who is the employer? Employer is the person who is going to provide the job. Employee is the person who is going to accept or take the job. So basically, employee is giving his services to the employer. So in return, employer will also has to give something to the employee. So that whatever the employer gives to the employee is called as compensation of employees. Compensation of employees can be in the form of wages and salaries in cash. That means it can be in a monetary terms. Wages and salaries in kind. That means it can be in a kind term. Kind means giving a free rented home for staying, giving a car for personal use or professional use. Social security scheme means giving pension, giving gratuity, giving provident fund. All of these things employer gives to the employee. So compensation of employee is always given by the employer to the employees.
okay.
Then when we talk about rent, royalty, interest, profit, we are going to include actual value as well as imputed value. Imputed value is nothing but the imaginary value which is considered or which is based on the present market value. Okay. Then profit, when it comes to profit, again profit has different parts or subparts. So what are those subparts? First is corporate tax plus dividend plus retained earnings. So corporate tax is a part of profit because when any organization receives any kind of profit, from that profit, the organization has to pay certain amount of money as tax. That tax is called as corporate tax. Same way dividend, what are dividend? When organization receives profit, it will give share that profit in between the shareholders in the form of dividend. So that dividend is also the part of profit. Retained earnings, which is also known as reserves and surplus. So what are retained earnings? When any organization get profit, it keeps certain amount of money aside. They don't use that money and that money is kept aside for future purposes, for future use. So that kind of money is called as retained earnings. So all the three are the part of profit. Okay. Then one another term comes into the picture is operating surplus. Operating surplus means nothing but rent plus royalty plus interest plus profit. That means when you do the formula, it is from the formula itself. You just have to cut compensation of employees and mixed income. Remaining rest you keep it as it is. You will get operating surplus. Rent plus royalty plus interest plus profit. Just remove COE and mixed income from NDPHC. You will get operating surplus. Fine. So this was your next method, that is income method. Now remains the last method, that is expenditure method. So as usual, first and the foremost thing which you will see is the aggregate, which is represented by the expenditure method. So the aggregate represented by expenditure method is again GDP at N. So if you remember value added method also, was known as GVMP and the other alternative name was GDPMP. So it is recommended, I will personally recommend that while solving questions, if you have solving value added method, then consider GVMP only. Don't consider GDPMP at that point of time. And while computing national income using expenditure method, you can consider GDPMP because expenditure method does not have any alternative. Right? So why I am saying this is because in the questions, while when we'll solve the question, you will see that you are going to solve mixed categorized question. Mixed categorized questions means in the exams also maximum possibility. They will not give you to solve any one method by only one method. They will tell you to find out national income using income method and expenditure method, or using income method and value added method, or using expenditure and value added method. So they might ask you any combination of methods and tell you to solve the numerical question. So for that, at that point of time, just imagine if they tell you to find out value added method and expenditure method. So for both the thing, if you use the aggregate GDP-MP, it will become very confusing for you all. If you are 100% sure that it will not create any confusion in your minds, then it's still fine. Then okay, fine, you can go with GDP-MP at both the places. But if at all you feel that there is 1% chances also there that I might get confused between value added and expenditure method GDP, GVA, then I would highly recommend that while solving value added method, make a practice that you always consider the aggregate as GVMP, and for expenditure method you make a habit of GDPMP. For expenditure to no issues, no worries, because there is only one aggregate, you don't have any other alternative option. But for value added, make a practice that you do it by GVMP. Otherwise, if you are doing GDPMP also, then also it is not wrong. And make sure for the one entire sum, you are using the same aggregate. If you have started solving the question and you have written GVMP, then till end, till you are completing the sum, make sure you are writing GVMP only. Don't be in middle, keep on shuffling. First GVMP, then GDPMP, GVMP, then GDPMP. Don't do that. While completing the entire sum, make a habit that you are using the one aggregate only. It can be GVMP, it can be GDPMP for value added method. For income method, there is only one, that is NDP at FC. So no confusion, no doubt. For expenditure method, again the aggregate is GDP at MP. So make sure whatever suits you, whatever makes you feel comfortable, do it like that, but don't get yourself confused while solving the questions, because two methods have same aggregates. Fine. Now let us see the formula for GDPMP. The formula for GDPMP is PFCE, that is private final consumption expenditure, plus GFCE, that is government final consumption expenditure, plus GDCF, that is gross domestic capital formation, plus NE, that is net exports. Okay, so this is the formula for calculating national income using expenditure method. GDPMP is the aggregate. The formula is PFC plus GFC plus GDCF plus net exports. PFC is nothing but private final consumption expenditure. GFC is government final consumption expenditure. GDCF is gross domestic capital formation. NE is net export. PFCE will involve all the expenses. Now again, with the name itself, name of the method itself, you should understand that the name of the method is expenditure method. That means we are going to sum up, or we are going to include all the expenses taken out by all the sectors of an economy. And what are the sectors of economy? At the very beginning only we have done it. Household is a sector, firms, government, and rest of the world or foreign world. These are the four sectors of the economy. So all the expenses made by these four sectors of the economy will be considered under GDP MP. No income will be considered under expenditure method, and no expenses will be considered under income method. So private final consumption expenditure means what? All the expenditures, all the expenses taken out by the households. Okay. Government final consumption expenditure means what? All the expenses, all the expenditures taken out by the government. Gross domestic capital formation. Gross domestic capital formation means the capital formation in where when the private firms, these are nothing but the private firms, when firms does investment, it does some kind of capital formation, so that is nothing but GDCF. Net export is nothing but the difference between export and import, so that means net export is exports minus import. Okay, so this is the formula for that. Now we'll government final consumption expenditure and PFC is usually given to you directly in the question. GDCF is now government final consumption expenditure. For that also we have one formula, if at all they have not given to you directly in the question. So the formula is gross fixed capital formation plus inventory investment. Inventory investment is nothing but closing stock. Okay. So gross fixed capital formation plus inventory investment. Now what if gross formation is not given to you directly in the question? Then for that we have formula GFCF. Usually gross fixed capital formation is directly given to you in the question. But if at all it is not given to you, then what will be the formula? So the formula would be gross business fixed investment plus gross residential construction investment plus gross public investment. Now gross business fixed investment means what? All the investments done for the capital formation by the private firms. All the investment done by the private firms for forming capital asset. Gross residential construction investment means all the expenses done by the private people for constructing their house, reconstruction of house, purchasing of new house, all of those things will come under gross residential construction investment. And gross public investment means all the investment made by the government for forming capital. Fine. So these are an inventory investment. Inventory investment is nothing but CIS. Formula for CIS we know, closing stock minus opening stock. So these were the three different formulas which we are going to use in order to find out the value of national income. National income by value added method, national income by income method, and national income by expenditure method. Yes, Gokul. Is there any doubt in any of the methods? Okay. So shall we see the sums? First, we can see for value added method. Few questions from value added method. Then we can go to the next part. Okay. One more quick tip. Whenever you solve the questions, first aggregate which you have to find out would be the aggregate of the particular method which you are finding out. Like for say suppose when you are finding whatever the aggregate has been asked in the question, leave it aside. First thing what you have to do is study the components. After studying the components, you will realize that which method you have to use for solving the question. For say suppose after studying the components, you have realized that you have to find national income using income method. So what is the aggregate of income method? NDP at FC. So you will first of all find out NDP at FC, and then you will go to the aggregate which has been asked in the question. First, say suppose GNP MP has been found in said to be found in the question. So first found NDPFC and then go to GNP MP. First of all, you have to find out the main aggregate of the method which you are solving, and then from there you have to go to the aggregate which has been asked in the question. Fine. Chalo. See, this is the first question. Try solving the question. Now you have to calculate value added by firm A and firm B. So basically they have given two firms, firm A and firm B. First of all, you will have to calculate the value added of firm A. That means first of all you will calculate GVAMP of firm A, and then you will calculate GVAMP for firm B. That's all. You don't have to find any other aggregate. Start solving. Wherever you get stuck, wherever you don't understand any component, anything, let me know. Got? For A, how much? For firm A, rectify for B. Very good. Perfect. By the second question, you have to calculate GVA at FC. Okay. So you have to calculate GVA FC. So as I said, first of all, we will calculate GVA MP, and then from that we will go to GVA FC. Start solving. One 95. Small error. Very small. Just check. NIT area. Check NIT area. See, value of output minus intermediate consumption. Value of output is not given directly, to sales plus change in stock. So sales is how much? 180.
180
plus
15.
Change in stock 15 minus.
Minus 100.
So how much here you are getting?
95.
Perfect. So you got GVAMP. Now from GVAMP you have to go to GVAFC. So everything as it is, you just have to convert MP to FC. What do we do to go from MP to FC?
You say plus NIT, minus NIT.
Minus NIT. And NIT ka formula is IT minus subsidies. But IT is given to you in the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is given? IT is given.
IT.
NIT, directly if NIT is given or GST is given, then it is fine. But if it is not given, then the formula is there now. IT minus subsidies.
Yes, yes.
So IT is not given anywhere. Subsidies is given to you 10. So IT is 0 minus subsidy is 10. So your NIT becomes minus 10. So 95 minus 10, that means 95 minus plus. So 95 plus 10 becomes 105.
Not fair.
Got it? Your NIT will a mistake you have done. Now
No, I didn't do that intermediate course.
you
The
didn't.
intermediate semester.
Okay.
I
So
will
that,
minus 100.
so that is what you have to make sure you are not doing anything wrong over there. Otherwise, your entire sum will become wrong. Huh? Okay. Third question. Now again, you have to calculate NBAFC. I'll write it over here. There is one component important of raw material 60, and you have to calculate NBAFC. Do it.
Um,
Yes, yes.
for calculating NAC also, because we have calculated NDP.
Yes. GVMP. GVMP is the aggregate of value-added method. So first calculate GVMP with the formula value of output minus intermediate consumption, and then after finding out the value, you can find out
Okay.
NBFC. Hmm.
For NAT, uh, one minute.
NIT. So NIT का formula is
Indirect tax minus subsidy.
minus subsidies. So IT is not given in the question, only
It
subsidies.
gave mine only subsidy. So,
Minus 40.
okay.
Always make sure to do this, huh? Even if IT is not given. What if IT was given and subsidy was not given? So 40 minus 0. Then your NIT would have been positive. But when IT is not given and subsidy is given, your NIT will be negative.
Okay. As the answer 200.
200.
No.
Small mistake. It's with 200 only. It was a small mistake. See, calculation mistake it can be. How much did you get GDP MT?
GNP. 270.
270. Yes, that is correct. Then you have to find out NBFC.
GNP minus depreciation minus NNP.
Perfect. So 270
GNP
minus
minus 30 minus
minus.
30.
So 270 minus 30 minus plus 40.
Oh, 240.
240. Calculate properly. 270 minus 30 is how much, and then add 40.
240. Okay.
How much?
240.
And how come 240? 270 minus 30 is how much?
Oh, 280.
Hmm.
So,
280.
still subtracting.
Yeah. I have given a little bit more tough, but related to value added. Take one more small sum. Now I have to calculate value added by firm A and firm B. For firm A and for firm B. Very small sum. Very small. And then I'll give you one big sum
Uh,
related to value added. Yes.
Domestic sales by firm is growing. Sorry, change stock.
4,000.
So value of food is equal to sales plus change in stock minus intermediate consumption.
Huh.
So they give they
They have
sales.
not given you intermediate consumption. They have not given you anything. They have just given you sales and sorry, they have given you intermediate consumption. So just intermediate consumption and sales. That's all. So first of all, it is given domestic sales. Domestic sales is given. That means you have to find out sales. So what is the formula for say finding out sales? Domestic sales plus exports.
Okay.
So domestic sales is 4,000. Exports is how much? By 8,000. So you get 5,000. So your formula is what? Sales minus what is the formula? Value output minus intermediate consumption. Value output means what? Sales minus intermediate consumption. So sales you have already got 5,000 minus intermediate consumption. Purchases by purchases is nothing but intermediate consumption. So 200. So how much will get? Yes, for A it is done. Now same way for B, find out.
Okay. They directly give sales based on.
Yes, yes. Here no domestic sales, so we don't have to add exports. Sales is given, purchase is intermediate consumption is given. That's all. Perfect. Good. Now one more sum. This is a little bit different kind of a sum. Do this and we'll wind up with this method. See, here they have told you to find out national income and GVMP. GVMP is nothing but your of national income using value added method. So that means you have to find out GVMP. Two parts of question are there. GVMP and B part is saying you have to find out national income. Now what is the aggregate of national income then? They have just directly told you to find out national income. How can you find out national income? With the aggregate. So what is the aggregate? NNP at F. So first you will find out GVMP, then you will find out NNPFG. Now here what is the difference? See, they have given you under value of output, they have given you three sectors, primary, secondary, tertiary. Again, value of intermediate goods, they have given you primary, secondary, tertiary. So why at the beginning when we were seeing the formulas, what I told you that while calculating value added method, you are going to involve all the sectors. So for value output minus intermediate consumption GVMP. So value of output you will calculate for all the sectors. Then whatever the total amount you will get, you will write it over here. Same way for intermediate consumption, you will calculate the all the sectors, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Whatever the value you get, you will write it over here and then find out GVMP by putting all the other formulas. Got it?
Yes.
So see, try doing it. I'll be back in just 2 minutes. Till then, try to do it. Okay. Hmm. GVMP. GVMP is your income method or sorry, value added method.
They give primary sector,
So see, first of all, whenever such kind of questions are there, you have to write the formula GVA at MP is equals to value of output minus intermediate consumption. Value of output directly here they have given you, no sales or anything else you have to do, directly they have given you. So what will be the value of output? We know that while calculating value added method, we have to be including all the sectors. So 800 plus 200 plus 300, how much?
1300.
1300. Okay. Minus intermediate consumption. Same way, 400 plus 100 plus 50, how much?
350.
550. Now, deduct 1300 minus 550. Got GVFP.
Okay.
Bus. Now they have asked you NNPFC, that is national income. So NNPFC, the aggregate which you have to find it, you have to keep it on the left hand side. The aggregate which you have, keep it on the right hand side. So from gross to net, what do we do? Uh-huh.
Minus depreciation.
Minus depreciation. Then from D to N, what from domestic to national.
But they gave us the.
V is nothing but domestic. That
Okay.
is why I said na, GVAMP is also known as TDPMP. Here VA means DP, same, one and the same thing.
Plus
We have to go domestic. So domestic to national, what do we do?
plus NFI.
Plus NFI. Then from MP to FC.
Minus NIT.
GVMP you have got already 750. C depreciation is given.
177 minus 80 plus
NFI. NFI is
10.
net factor income. Factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
10
10 minus 20.
minus 20. And what about NIT? IT minus subsidies. So how much?
50 minus 20.
50 minus 20. I have to solve this. 750 minus 80 plus 10 minus 20 is
10 minus 10.
minus 10. Minus 50 minus 20 is
18.
just solve this, you will get the answer. Correct. That's all. Did you understood how did we solve the sum?
Yes, I was confused at the primary second. So I
Simple. That's all. Only this much you had to do. Okay, so this was something new or a different kind of a sum. Now, next we'll solve few questions from expenditure method as well. Okay, so there is some problem in the question. Just give me 2 minutes. Till then, revise the formula of income method. Next, we are going to do income method. Okay, this is the question. You have to calculate national income. So again, for that, you should know the aggregate of national income. So the aggregate of national income is NNPFC. Again, we are going to solve the questions based on expenditure method. So sorry, income method. So first of all, you will have to find out the aggregate of income method, and then you will have to find out the aggregate which has been asked in the question. So the aggregate of income method is NDP at FC. So first you'll find out NDPFC, then the aggregate which has been asked in the question, that is NNPFC. Then you'll find out NNPFC. Okay, that's all.
Ma'am,
Yes.
composition of employees formula is wages and salary cash plus sales and salary gain plus associate technologies.
Employees contribution to social. Yes.
Okay.
That is the part of COE.
Okay. Old age, old age pension is different kind.
No, this will not come. Why it will not come? Because old age pension is also the part of compensation of employees. That will come under employers' contribution to social security scheme. So whenever the main heading is given to you directly, then you will not take all these small subparts.
Okay.
Main heading
So
is given.
they gave only two more. They gave wages and gain.
So it's okay. Just take two wages and salaries and employers to social contribution. That's fine. At times they will give only one. At times they will give two. At times they will not give it all.
Okay. Now is the answer 1140?
1140 is small mistake, very small mistake.
Oh, sorry. What's the answer?
Not getting.
Yes, ma'am.
So first of
Okay.
all,
One. And in NNP, NNP,
you have to find out NNP at FC. And NDPFC is the aggregate for first aggregate which you have to find out by using the formula COE plus profit plus rent plus interest plus royalty plus mixed income.
so NDP at FC is 1150.
NDP at FC is fine if it is 1000.
Then national to domestic is less than FIA. Then
So,
NDP is also 1001.
let us see first. So do it over there. So NDPFC is equals to, we know, COE plus profit plus rent plus royalty plus mixed income. Okay, plus interest. Okay. Compensation of employees, what is given to you in the question? See, wages and salary is given. Employees, yes, employers contribution is given, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how much? 500 plus 50?
And so, okay.
Understood? Where did you do the mistake? Perfect. Very good. Next question. Now you have to calculate NNP at FC. So for calculating NNPFC, first of all, you will have to, as usual, calculate NDPFC. That is our aggregate method. So first calculate NDPFC, then calculate NNP at FC. See here, after undistributed profit, there is one gap and then dividend is there.
Okay.
Start from. Yes.
NPP taxi is 1,100.
1100.
No.
No.
Uh,
NDPFC first of all.
on composition of employee they gave
Ah,
only wages and salary.
wages and salaries is given. Yes, perfect.
So plus rent and interest they gave 160.
Yes, perfect.
Plus profit undistributed profit is profit rating.
Yes. And
60
profit. Huh?
plus mixed
Profit. What did I tell you? Profit has three subparts, no? Corporate tax, dividend, and retained earnings. So you have corporate tax, you have undistributed profit, you have dividend. So it should be 60 plus 40 plus 20. This together makes your profit.
okay 120.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Now see how much I'm getting.
1,160.
Yes, perfect. Now find NNPFC.
1,140.
Yes, very good. Perfect. Next question. You have to calculate GNP at MP.
So GNP taxi
G-
BDPN.
yes, you in the question they have asked you GNP at FC, but since we are we are solving national income under income method, so first we have to find out NDP at FC, and then you can go towards GNP at MP. Okay, this employee has come over, went over there, but it's employee compensation 600.
Okay.
This employee over here just cancelling out and it is
Okay.
writing in front of compensation. So this is nothing but employee compensation or compensation of employee. What is it?
Okay.
Hmm? So, okay, one new thing over here, net current transfers from rest of the world. Are we going to include that?
No.
Why?
Uh, I think you don't come in any form.
Net current transfers are never included while computing national income. Only capital transfers and factor incomes are included. Current transfers are never included. So this component will not be included while computing national income. Any method, be it be income method, salary method, or expenditure
Okay.
method.
Again, the previous one also.
Yeah, yeah. It means current transfer means what? Using that money, which using your you can say savings or past savings, or you are using your wealth which you have done in the previous years. So that will not be included in the national income.
Okay. I also.
Hmm.
So they gave rent, they gave interest, but they didn't give the royalty. So if they didn't give,
Okay.
they have to give it
It's
zero, right?
okay. Yeah, it's zero.
Okay.
How much? Slight error. Check.
Uh-huh.
NDPFC is 2000. Okay, okay. Yeah, correct, correct. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you
independent.
were saying GNP. Yeah. NDPFC is 2000. Now find out GNP. $2,000? No, small error. NDPFC you found out was correct. GNP MP you have to find out. NDPF. Now from going to net to gross, what do we do? Very good. Then from national less domestic to national, what do we do? To go from domestic to national, what do we do?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now
Plus NFI.
yes, plus NFIA. And from FC to MP?
NIT
Plus NIT, correct. So NDPFC now you got is 2000 plus depreciation is given, yes, consumption
200.
plus NFIA is given, only from abroad is given. So formula is from abroad minus to abroad. So minus 100 minus 2. So that means minus 100. So here the yes.
But N plus I is net factor from income from abroad, right?
So if NFIA here, it is directly given to you. See, NFIA, net factor income from abroad. At times, they will give you two things, net factor income from abroad and one more component will be given, net factor income to abroad. When to abroad is also given to you, at that point of time, you have to calculate NFI. Then the formula becomes from abroad minus to abroad. Here, directly they have given you from abroad. And at times, they might also give you net factor income to abroad. So in that case also, again you have to calculate.
Okay.
IT, now IT is given 160. Subsidies 40. है ना?
41.
So 2000 plus 200 plus minus 100 plus 160 minus 40.
40.
160 minus 40 is 120. Now just calculate it. You will get the answer. How come? 2000 plus 200 is? Yes, 2220. Very good. Two more questions we'll do from expenditure method and then we can wind. If you want, I'll upload the questions on discussion forum. You all can practice from there. Very important. As many as questions you practice, you'll get in habit. All the formulas will be remembered automatically. Small errors are coming, that will also be gone. Also, one very important thing is units. While you are writing, your units are very important. If in the question the unit is given lakhs, then after your answer you have to write lakhs. If it is in rupees, you have to write rupees. If it is in thousands, You have to write 1,000. You have to write whatever the unit they have given. Like for example, in this sum they have given Arabs. So whatever the answer is coming, say suppose 2,000 is the answer, then you will write the unit Arabs, or else half marks will be deducted even though your answer is correct. If you have not, fine. Sure. Expenditure method, last method we have seen PFC plus GFC plus GDCF plus net exports. So the aggregate for expenditure method is again GDP at MP. So first of all, you will be finding GDP at MP, and the next thing which you will be finding is with the aggregate asked in the question. So for example, in this question they have asked you the national income. So the aggregate of national income is NNP. So first calculate GDP NP, and from there you have to calculate NNP.
Okay.
Start doing.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes.
this question is
What happened? Should I zoom it?
uh, like slide it to the right one. Okay. Uh, uh, I have to do an expenditure method.
Yes, by expenditure method. PFC plus GFC plus GDCF. Gross, remember it is gross domestic capital formation.
Okay.
Here, so you don't have to take GDCF is different. So if the gross fixed capital formation is given, then in that case you will have to find it by the formula. But here in this question, they have directly given you gross domestic fixed capital.
Okay. And they gave net imports one. They didn't give net exports.
So export would be 0.
So yes, so just leave it.
0 minus 40.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. 7. No, small mistake. So what did you do? First of all, private final consumption expenditure is there. Plus,
500
plus
on the government.
government final consumption expenditure 100, 600. Then
Plus gross domestic
fixed capital 200. That means 800.
plus
And plus net exports.
net exports
So
0
it's
minus 40.
break even.
And 60.
Now gross domestic fixed capital formation. So for GDCF also we have formula now. Sorry, here they have given you fixed capital formation. It's not gross domestic capital formation. We want gross domestic capital formation, no gross domestic fixed capital formation. So the formula to find out gross domestic capital formation is gross domestic fixed capital formation plus inventory investment. Inventory investment is nothing but change in stock. So change in stock is given 50.
200 plus 50.
Uh-huh. So change in stock, now see, change in stock now, net change in stock is given. So net change in stock, that means you're going to assume that there is a fall in stock and we will take it as minus 50. No, fine. Net change in stock is considered as it is. Just keep it 50.
So 200
Plus 50.
50.
Yes.
So 18.
Yes.
18.
Yeah.
So I have to find out NNP.
FFC. Yes.
So,
Yes. Right. Well,
so
hmm. Hmm. Next one. Calculate GNP at MP. So you have to calculate and write it here. GNP at MP. Calculate GNP at MP. First of all, we are doing expenditure method. So first you have to find out GDP MP, and once you get GDP MP, you will go to GNP.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Then we will find out.
Personal consumption expenditure and private consumption
Same.
expenditure same. 27. And so they gave gross domestic fixed capital. So gross domestic fixed capital minus inventory.
Gross domestic capital formation plus inventory investment. Inventory investment is
They
that
didn't give.
inventory investment means nothing but change in stock. So change in stock
Okay.
means what? Closing stock minus opening stock. So closing stock, opening stock is not given. They have given you only fall in stock. So here you have to make a note. Fall in stock, that means there is a fall in stock. That is why the value, the number, whatever is there, we will consider it as minus. So at times they give you addition in stock, or they will give you fall in stock. When addition in stock is given, you will take the number as it is positive. But if fallen stock is given, then you will take the number as negative. Now, at times they will give you in the question as minus 300. But here to confuse us, they have given you just 300. So if you have to put your brains that fallen stock means we have to add negative sign.
Okay. So I was going to say fixed capital minus fallen stock.
Plus minus 300. So plus minus minus 2500 minus 300 like this.
Again, net import is equal to import minus export.
Yes, net export means import minus export minus import.
Export
Export
minus
is yes.
okay.
Small error. GDP.
Okay. Sorry.
Very small error now, very small. Sorry, 32, 650. No, correct. GDPMP 32, 650. Now you have to find out GNP. Yes, you have to find out GNP. You're not keeping well, you will go to doctor. So you are going for parties and all, but not to doctor. You don't have time to go for a doctor, to go to a doctor. You have time for parties, right?
Another question. Now I have to find GDP plus NFI. So next fact is income from about they gave minus 250. So 32,650 minus 250.
So GDPMP plus NFI you are going to do. So GDPMP plus NFI, right? So GDPMP is 32,650 plus NFI is how much?
250.
Minus 250. So 32,650 plus minus 9. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. There are many questions and as many as questions as factors you will get a hand on it and all these minor mistakes will also go away. So what we'll do is I'll put the questions on discussion forum as soon as possible. You all can solve from there and if in any question you have doubt or any question you are not able to solve it, we'll discuss